I found something that works for me, and this is kind of like a confession moment. I wanted to try it for at least a month before I talked about it. All right, so I'm very, very excited about this video because I've been on basically a half of my life journey to lose weight and successfully keep it off. So I've tried keto, intermittent fasting. I've tried intermittent fasting and keto. I tried like doing meal replacement shakes. I've tried so many things. On that 15+ year journey, I have learned so much about what works and what doesn't work for me. But ultimately, the big underlying issues was self-sabotage and just not letting myself ever really get to my goal all the way, ruining it along the way. It's kind of like when you clean your room and everything looks beautiful and aligned and you feel good about it, you're almost done cleaning it and then you just destroy the whole thing. It was just something that I really struggled with, which let me know that my body issues run way deeper than skin deep. Like there's so much deeper than what's on the outside. This year, I have been doing so much better. I actually just came back from Lebanon and Dubai. I ended up losing 10 pounds without dieting. I want to talk through basically what I did differently this time. We travel a lot, and to be frank with you, travel used to be a huge trigger for me. It would just kind of make me feel like all my progress is gonna go out of the window and I'm just gonna mess up and I'm not gonna be working out as much because we're gonna be around family. I'm gonna have to eat more than I normally eat because that's how Arabs roll when we're all together. I had a lot of fixed mindsets around travel and would always come back from these trips weighing more and just being terrified of getting on the scale and feeling like all the work that I had put in before just got destroyed. Like I'm 10 steps back from where I started, and it was just such a discouraging feeling for someone who has been basically experiencing that for half of my life. It's just kind of like this slingshot, trying to make progress but being pulled way back. First thing that I did was set the intention. I would get stressed before travel. I would constantly feel like there's just no way that I'm going to be able to uphold my goal while being around both of our families. In Lebanon, it's harder to get access to a gym because we're usually back and forth between Beirut and Tripoli, where Ahmed's family lives, and they're like a little over an hour away from each other. So much of our short trips there are spent kind of commuting back and forth and trying to get as much quality time as possible with our family. On this trip, I decided that I'm just not gonna look at travel this way. It's great having a partner like Ahmed who kind of called me out, like, you just keep telling yourself that this is how the trips are gonna go, and you kind of live that reality. And I'm like, dang, I'm usually the one telling him stuff like that. So it just felt crazy to hear it from him. And so this trip, I literally set the intention. I am losing weight on this trip. I'm going to break my curse and break my pattern of thinking that it is impossible to go on vacation and keep up your momentum, let alone stick to your goals. Like, keep up your momentum. So I had a goal of losing 5 pounds. If I lose 5 pounds, I'm happy. That's like less than 1.5 pounds a week, and that's gonna make me feel like I can hit the ground running when I come back home. A huge thing that I did was just inform my family that this is what I'm doing. I informed Ahmed's family when I got there. It's not necessarily that telling them changed the way that anyone else acted. It just made me feel more accountable, and it set this intention out into the world, and my energy was just a lot different. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. I'm on a mission. I want you to approach your journey, whether it's to gain weight or lose weight or maintain your weight even. I want you to approach your journey through a scientist's perspective. Now, when you really think about a scientist, like they're doing all these studies. Let's say they have these rats in a study. They're not like cussing out the rat and being like, you dumbass, you're supposed to find the cheese over there. They're literally just observing and kind of taking in feedback and insights around what is going right or what is going wrong. And I feel like it's such an underrated thing to approach any type of journey that you're on, really, but especially with weight and body. Like, we're so judgmental towards ourselves, and instead of beating yourself up, which is so toxic and it's just not productive, there's nothing logical about it, sit back and be like, okay, last time I was in Lebanon, I was sitting a lot because we're hanging out with family, so we're just sitting. It's a lot of quality time. Because I was sitting so much, it made me feel very lazy and inactive. Can I control that? A little bit. You know, I can take a walk every day. Even just being aware of the fact that me sitting all day made me feel inactive. And because I felt inactive, it made me feel like I was being unhealthy. And because I felt unhealthy, it made me pursue unhealthy habits while I was there. I would opt to eat things that I don't even eat in the States. I would opt to eat more than I normally do. When we'd go to a restaurant and I'm given a menu of so many healthy choices, I would opt for the unhealthy choice, not because anyone was holding a gun to my head, but because I had already felt unhealthy. So I'm like, bet. when we're in Lebanon, even if we sit all day, I'm going to drink a ton of water. That's gonna make me feel more healthy. Even if we sit all day, I'm going to opt for food that is aligned with my goal. Even if we're ordering out, I'm definitely not gonna be the one to be like, guys, actually I can't order from there. Even if there's a place where there are no healthy options, I'm going to make it a point to make it a healthier option, just so that I can continue to reinforce this identity that I am a healthy person. We ordered from like this sub place, and the place is like really, really good, but these subs are like huge, so greasy, so oily, so much sauce on them. And so what did I do? I ordered the sub and I got rid of the sauce on it. So it was like this grilled chicken sub. I ate only 1/2 of it. This is good enough. This is my way of enjoying this meal with everybody and being present and not overthinking it and not being stressed about it, and just keeping it aligned with the identity, not even just the habits. The habits will come, but the identity comes first. So keeping it aligned with that identity. Dubai is a little bit easier because my brother forces us to work out whether we want to or not. So just having a workout every other day at least kept me in that mindset of being a healthy person. So there just needs to be one thing that you do every day that reminds you of the identity of the person you're trying to be, and everything else kind of follows. It's crazy. Put your scientist hat on. Ask yourself, when I was in that environment, why did this happen? When COVID hit, why was I gaining weight? When I got super stressed, why did I lose an unhealthy amount of weight? Ask yourself questions, and instead of being so angry about yourself, just allow yourself the opportunity to understand why you behave that way and create a plan on how you're gonna address that next time. It takes a lot of self-love and empathy to do that, and I know you can do it because you deserve it. You deserve nothing better than to stop judging yourself so much and really get to the bottom of certain things and learn how to solve them. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want a better life every day. We want to feel healthier and better about ourselves, and we're not going to do that by continuing to judge ourselves and talk down on ourselves, okay? Finding something that works for you and ignoring the hell out of everyone else. I found something that works for me, and this is kind of like a confession moment. I wanted to try it for at least a month before I talked about it. I tried this thing back in high school and it did work. It did work, but I didn't stick to it, not because the system didn't work, but because of the way that I was looking at this specific system. Before I tell you about this thing that I'm doing right now, I also need to shout out my nutritionist. Ashley and Brooke kind of co-run this nutrition program, and I hit them up back last January, and just had, a really deep conversation with them, my goals, what I needed. Through working with them over the past year, I have uncovered so much of what was actually under my self-sabotage. Like, they helped me really, really understand what was truly behind the mindset. Because unlike a lot of people who seek out nutritionists or seek out fitness coaches, I've been in this game for a while. I've been trying and failing at this for over 15 years. It became evident to me in 2022 that this is not really an education problem for me. I don't need more education. If anything, learning so much more is just kind of like a scapegoat, because I keep thinking I need to know something else to actually incorporate this stuff. When in reality, it was a mindset and self-sabotage issue. My nutritionist, Brooke, really helped me hold a mirror to myself about that and stop making other excuses around that. What I decided to try out this time around is Weight Watchers. And I'm literally laughing as I'm saying it because I have to tell you the story of how I even decided to do this. It was so random. So for my job, I basically do marketing strategy. I'm understanding different brands and the way that they talk to consumers. And we were hired by a wellness brand. And so as part of my research for this wellness brand, I started looking up other similar wellness brands within the category. And I just thought, you know what, let me look up Weight Watchers. They've been around for a while. Let's see like how tone deaf they are when they talk to consumers. That's totally what I was thinking, because I don't know about you, but when I remember Weight Watchers back in the day, I'm like a white soccer mom who is trying to shed off 20 or 30 pounds because her metabolism just doesn't work the way that it used to. That's kind of like how I used to think about it. In high school, I think my mom mentioned it to me. She knew I really wanted to lose weight. And so me and one of my friends in high school actually tried it. And there's this point system where you're kind of tracking different things that you eat under this point system. And it was working for me. And I think because I felt like I lost the weight that I wanted, I just kind of stopped doing it. And I just never, I never felt represented by the brand. So I'd never considered it after that. Even though it worked temporarily, I'd gained the weight back because a lot of the mindset stuff, I didn't tackle all of that, which is why I just want you to know, before you consider any other option, it's so important to in parallel at the same time be tackling the mindset side of things so that you don't just destroy your whole process when you do make progress. So anyway, I'm researching all this stuff. I'm looking it up. I'm like, okay, let's look at Weight Watchers, see what they're doing. I go on their website and I'm like, did somebody get a rebrand? Like, I'm actually liking this. They now call themselves WW, hilarious, which I think is so intentional because they don't want to be kind of imprisoned by their old positioning. Let me not get too nerdy on this with my marketing stuff. But anyway, I go on their Instagram. I'm like, why does this low-key look cool? Like, why are they making me want to join this? And because I'm not an impulsive buyer and I work in marketing, I don't like to just like sign up for something right away. But that's really how I want it. Like, I wanted to just sign up right away because I'm like, I do want to lose these 25 pounds. Like, give yourself a week. If you're still thinking about it, then you can go back on their website. Needless to say, I sign up for a 6-month plan. I made the mental decision to just be one track minded about this. Like, I literally had a pep talk with myself, like, Rima, if you sign up for this, you are not listening to anyone else's advice for 6 months. Like, they own you for the next 6 months and you are going to trust this process because, again, self-sabotage will have me read a random book 2 months in when I'm getting results and make me kind of like stop trusting the same process that's actually helping me. Like, that's how it works. I just promised myself, like, this is all I am thinking about, eating, breathing, sleeping for this 6 months. During that first week of signing up, I lost 1 point like something pounds. As soon as we got back, I weighed myself and I had lost a total of 10 pounds. And I was just like so happy with myself because I'm like, I trusted myself. I did this thing in 2 foreign countries where like some food is not easy to find when you look it up, but I trusted it. I didn't let that get in the way. I just said, I don't care. So I just want to give you a little background on why this works for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. So I'm not telling you to sign up for them. None of this is sponsored, as you should probably know. And when it is sponsored, I will let you know. But as of right now, like, I don't know that this will work for you. I know that why it's working for me. When I was working with my nutritionists, I was tracking my calories on MyFitnessPal. And I kind of hated it because I just don't like having to track small things. This has nothing to do with the process. Like, for some people it works so well. And if it works for you, I think tracking calories is amazing. I think counting macros is amazing. I'm very minimalistic and I don't like doing something every day that takes a lot of like attention to detail. When I would have to track things that I perceived as like such low calorie that I don't even want to think about them, it would just annoy me to have to track every last ingredient. Sometimes I just wouldn't track them because it would be annoying, but then I would start questioning my process. Like, oh my God, am I not losing weight because I forgot to track like those 5 olives yesterday? I didn't find the perfect one for fattoush and I put a different one. Like, stupid things where it's like, no, that's literally not why. Like, stop, right? But it just was the behavior of having to track so many things just felt very overwhelming. And at the end of the day, even if it's a amazing process, when something feels overwhelming, you're not going to do it. And so for me, Weight Watchers felt so much less overwhelming because you're not working with 1,700 calories. You're working for, in my case, with 23 points. And I just got to budget these little 23 things throughout the day. On top of that, there are so many foods that were 0 points. So like when I eat grilled chicken or if I eat like yogurt, I don't have to track those things. So it just feels nice for me to eat a banana. I don't need to track it because it's 0 points. I end up only tracking around 5 things a day, and that just feels so much less overwhelming and so much more doable. I realized with tracking in general that I was approaching it from a victim mentality. I felt sorry for myself. I'm like, oh, Rima, your life is just so sad that you have to track your calories. Rima, life is just so depressing because you're only doing this because you have a weight issue. Other people don't have to do this. Like, that was kind of the voice in my head where it's like a violin and it's this sad story. I actually got rid of that way before. Like, my nutrition coach really helped me get rid of that victim mentality and realize, like, I get to do this. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm beautiful. I have these goals and I want to reach these goals. And so I get to live in an era where there's a freaking app on my phone and I could figure out what I should and shouldn't eat. Like, I am empowered with so many resources and so much information. My victim mentality around tracking really came to light when my brother wanted to lose weight. My oldest brother, Mahmoud, freaking works more than anyone I've ever met in my life. Like, when it comes to time in a day, like, he does not have time in a day. He decided he wanted to be healthier. He decided he really wanted to take care of his body. And he's very type A, like oldest Arab child, where he's like a high achiever. So when he did it, right? He hired a nutritionist in Dubai, and this man had him like on lock. He had to weigh himself every day. He had to track his food on MyFitnessPal every day. He had to take progress pictures every single day. And I was living with him during that time. I went on like a 3-month trip to Dubai and just stayed with him. I was helping him take his progress pictures here and there and just watching him like meticulously do all of this. And he had like no emotion involved in it. It wasn't like, I weighed myself, look at these pictures, I don't like how I look, I have to freaking track this thing that I just ate. It was not like that. It was just like very matter of fact, like, can you take this picture for me? I need to turn around, I need to get that angle. Okay, yeah. It inspired me, not necessarily because I wanted to be as like meticulous as he is, but because I'm like, he just doesn't have this emotional energy around this thing. To him, he sees where he is, and he sees where he's trying to go, and he sees the actions daily that are gonna get him to that place, and he just does it. Like, it's not this dramatic thing. It's not this sad sob story. He feels so empowered in being able to do it that he just does it. He trusts the process so much that there's not all of this doubt and emotion and frustration and fear and shame around any of this. So I had to get real with myself. Obviously, like, my childhood around body image and weight and his, two completely different things, incomparable. It makes so much sense why I had a lot of this negative energy around weight and body, and why I have so much fear and shame and like lack of confidence around even being able to do it. It made sense, but I realized I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. I chose to stop looking at this from a victim mindset. When I was in Lebanon and choosing to eat half of a sandwich and give my fries to someone else, it's not like, oh my God, this is so sad. You can't eat the same things that everyone is eating. It's like, no, you have a goal. They might not be thinking about that for whatever reason. They don't have that goal. They don't want that. Do something about it. And I don't say this in like a mean way. I say it in like a basketball coach kind of way. Like, you want this, you got to show up for practice, and it's going to look different for you. I urge you, whatever you do, whether it's you want a bigger butt and you need to lift heavy and eat more, don't look at it like, I'm so sad that my butt, my genes are set up like this, so I have a smaller body and I have a smaller frame. Like, you're never gonna get what you want with a victim mindset. You're never, because it's gonna be so negative and you're gonna feel so ungrateful, and it's just the energy that you bring to this goal every day is gonna eat away at any results that you ever get. Whereas if you look at it like, I get to focus on my body, I am so healthy that I get to do this. I have options. I can choose this over something else. Self-pity has no place in this journey. I don't care where you are on this journey. Self-pity is going to destroy your success. And I need you to just get out of that mindset and into the mindset of feeling like a baddie when you do it. Everything that you do on your health journey comes from a place of being the baddie and not the crybaby. And to kind of bring it all full circle, like, that's why Weight Watchers didn't work for me in high school. I still felt like the victim. I still felt awkward. Like, I'm this high school girl doing Weight Watchers. I can't tell anyone I'm doing it because that's embarrassing, that's cringy. Now I'm not gonna shut up about it. Why I was able to successfully lose this weight and why I'm going to lose more weight is because I'm not afraid of progress markers anymore. And what I mean by that is things like progress pictures, getting on the scale, measuring yourself, whatever it is that you choose. I don't do all three of those things consistently, but my chosen progress marker is getting on the scale. And I had to work to get myself to that place. I was terrified of the scale even a few months ago. Like, it would bother me all day if I didn't like the number that showed up. So what I've actually done is what I've heard called exposure therapy, where I just do it every day now. Doing it every day kind of neutralizes it in the same way that like looking at your bank account every day would, I guess. There are a lot of studies that show that people who do daily measures of progress like that are actually more successful on their body goals journey. For you, if it's not the scale, I would encourage you to find something that doesn't let you hide from this process every day. Find something where you have to show up and check in, whether it is a progress picture every day. You're not gonna look different from day to day, but over time you will see results. Whether it is measuring yourself every day, whatever it is, for me, the scale just kind of keeps me accountable and gives me something to celebrate when I do see a trajectory that feels hopeful week by week. If you are in a place where you're trying to change your body, whatever that means for you, or you're trying to focus more on your health, I would really love to hear from you. What questions do you have? What's something that you're currently struggling with, whether it is a physical struggle or a mental, emotional, spiritual struggle? Drop it down below and let me know. And if you like this video, you have to watch my video where I talk through the 5 things I am doing differently this time around to start my weight loss journey. So definitely watch that video. Let me know what you think. I really, really want us to do this time together. Let's make it happen. I love you so much, baddie, and I will see you on the next one.